The Crash Course Podcast is brought to you in part by DerbyParts.com, Smashmasters Derby Parts, and Derby Inc. magazine. Live it, breathe it, be it, Derby Inc. The Wadena Grand Slam, August 16th, Wadena County Fairgrounds, Wadena, Minnesota. And the Keystone Nationals, a Bo Lockwood Motorsports production, July 19th at the Jefferson County Fairgrounds in Brookville, Pennsylvania. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now your host, Chris Marquardt.
Everybody does love that shot, don't they?
That is awesome.
Busy night tonight. Lots to talk about. Welcome to Crash Course, episode number 41. On the heels of the Northeast Championship being completed. Happy Independence Day to everybody that got to enjoy it. We got Steve Bucknam joining us on the Skype line. We'll be chatting with him a little bit about the Northeast Championship. Brian, of course, in studio. We're taking a break from pouring, what are you up to now? Close to 300 pounds of welding wire into your car for Penn Yan tomorrow at the Keuka Clash. So taking a break, going to be finishing that up. Ben, was your headset quiet?
Yeah.
Was that the problem?
Yeah.
I forgot to set that level up. It might be a little bit better.
Ben
Haas. Ben Haas also here in studio joining us, guys. Lots of action this weekend, but some sad news to open the show. Our thoughts with the family of Robert Steele. He was an official at the Millard County Fairgrounds, and no better, huh? Sorry. You can come sit over here if you want.
That's all right.
At the Millard County Fair in Delta, Utah, he was struck by a car. He's about 50 years old, and he was struck by a car that had come over a berm and ended up getting pinned against a section of cattle fence, and unfortunately he did lose his life in that accident. So tough way, to come out of the Independence Day weekend. So we certainly send our thoughts and well wishes to that family. Tough situation. That's the second instance of that we've heard about this year. And we just. It's a dangerous sport, and it's tough when reminders like that come to pass, And
that's the thing with officiating. I mean, there's no protection.
The only protection you have is their brakes and your feet.
Yeah,
that's it.
And usually neither. I don't know.
You got to be on your toes.
It's definitely it's definitely a dangerous. Ben obviously knows, and even when we were standing at Morris, when I was. As you were filming and taking pictures and a car came over a barrier towards us. We were lucky enough to see it coming, and it really wasn't that close. But kind of put it in perspective,
Yeah, it's certainly harrowing. Last night at the Northeast Championship, we had a situation where they were using the whole track, and we were basically filming on part of the track. There were some barriers and there were some tires and stuff in front of us, and it got busy a couple times. Al Crockett was I could see, his fingernails. He was so close, and so it's one of those things where you got to kind of just meter it, and tough break. Troy Tagg, good friend of the show, comes away with a win at Hot Rockin' Fourth, the Stern Dirt event out there in Ogden, Utah. So that was good to see, and
I think the two of his sons also ran.
Yeah, they had a whole
troop. Yeah, he had the whole family. They had the whole family picture afterwards, and there's a bunch.
Yeah, I congratulated him. He said thanks. He said it was a really good family weekend. So,
yep, good family weekend for the Bucknams, huh, Steve?
Yeah, for sure. It was like old times for us. 5 Bucknams in the feature. It was pretty nostalgic for us, for sure. And Chuck represented very well. Chuck took the win overall. So.
What motor did he have? I forgot to ask you this. I know we talked about this once. What motor did he have in his?
He owns 2 motors that have been built, and I don't like to give any extra credit to the builder who built the one he has because he's had so much trouble with it.
Oh, okay.
Right now, it's pretty much a Chuck Bucknam built motor after all the work that he's done to it to get it correct.
Well, it only shut off. It only shut off that one time and it refired after a little bit.
Yeah, and it ran strong. Al Crockett got to feel how that motor ran when Chuck decided he was all done with Al Crockett. He was all done with Al Crockett.
Yeah, it was rough. And Al didn't have any gears or anything like that in his car. And
no, it was just a '60s model Chrysler Ren, but no gear or anything like that.
And he was running, and Chuck was closing the gap, as it were. Caught right up to him, and that was that. Al just couldn't get away from it, and Tom Taylor Sr., he had a shot. He had a real shot. We'll get into more of that stuff a little bit later on. Had a shot at it, but there just wasn't enough life left in his car to contend with the 117. We are going to be getting Brandon Tyson on the line here in just a minute to talk a little bit about the show coming up in LeMars, which that's right around the corner. And next week we're going to have the heat draw for Keystone Nationals. Bo Lockwood's going to be on the program. We'll do the heat draw for that. And tomorrow, Keuka Clash. Hopefully we see a whole pile of cars there. I'm excited about that. So, where's your car anyway? Where are you at with that, Brian?
It's at my father's house.
Yeah, but what stage is it?
It's
where is it? I thought you brought it. I thought you were going to drive it over.
It's pretty close. We just got to do a little bit of buttoning up and
all lies.
If the Derby gods are happy, I shall be there. And
all lies.
If not, if they throw me a monkey wrench, then I'll probably come watch. But, I'm pretty close. I mean, I got to secure my battery and chain the hood down, stuff like that, cover my gas tank. So I'm going to try to go finish it up tonight after the show and go from there. Hopefully, go over and put on a show for the fans.
It's sounding like it's going to be pretty fun. There's a lot of cars that are kind of hinting that they're coming, and I'm hoping that they all show up. Otherwise, you're going to be able to just walk in and walk out with a check.
That's not get crazy now. I know the Gil Martin brothers are going to be there, so Josh and Justin. So I would at least have to battle with them if us three showed up.
Should be a good time. I'm absolutely looking forward to it. Showtime 7:45. If there's over 33 cars on both nights, there's an extra $500 on the line for any driver that registered on Tuesday if they turn around and win the Fair Class show. So, shake them loose. Bring a bunch of front wheel drive cars. Can't hurt. Right?
Absolutely.
Maybe next year you guys can offer some rentals for that show.
Yeah, we got to get someplace around here that would do that. I really don't know if there's any place that's close by that would allow the cars to come out of the junkyard for a rental program.
I don't know if there's any place that's really big enough. No. I mean, most all scrap places.
Well, sure, Trouts will do that, but you gotta
get him,
go pick him up, and then you gotta take him back. But he's been stung quite a few times on that, so it's a lot of guys are hesitant. I mean, it's
a little bit of a different atmosphere up here when it comes to that stuff. It's fortunate, Brockton Auto Parts and Hank over there. They're so involved with the fair and so close with it that they don't have to worry about really getting stung because nobody's going to do that.
Right.
And out here we got Horsehead's Pick Apart, and then we've got.
Well, I know they supplied a bunch of cars for the monster truck show we did.
Yeah, they do they give the monster trucks something to run over, but they've never supplied running driving cars or anything like that.
But I mean, with the guys that do the pick and pull, they're kind of losing some money there. I mean, if you got a driver car and you send it to a derby, chances are it's going to be scrap. So
them days are long gone when Hagedorns used to do that.
Yeah.
Old Jimmy Hagedorn used to.
Yeah.
Well, Brockton Auto Parts, they cut them all up before they get there, don't they? They get the good stuff off them.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Some of the early rentals we had were picked apart a little bit, but we needed so many rentals that pretty much people were driving cars into the junkyard off the street, handing them the keys, and then Brockton Auto Parts was throwing them on a ramp truck, bringing them right to the fairgrounds and dropping them off to us as complete cars. We rented out over 25 cars this week, so it was pretty wild.
Joining us on the line, we've got Brandon Tyson from out there at the Plymouth County Fair in LeMars. You going to do any rental cars out there?
No, we don't quite have the hookup you guys have. That's pretty awesome. I sure wish we could, though.
Right.
I think they have.
But we are giving away cars this year that we bought with sponsor money. So if that's any consolation to all of our heavy hitters, we're giving away a car in each class.
Sweet.
That's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
They're giving away. Was it a Buick Century or a Lumina? And then you had a.
Yep, we've got a 90s Lumina for small car. We've got a 2000 Lincoln for the Weld class and a 84 Crown Vic for the stock class in full size.
Nice.
That is definitely
awesome.
The coolest thing I've ever heard of.
Oh,
They are clean. They are
Absolutely.
good cars. I wish I could keep them.
Brandon, Ben just ran out the door. He's going home to build. You're probably gonna.
It's a long tow, but we'll be out there.
I'd take the Lincoln frame and put the square body on that.
You got to win 2.
Just to start.
You got to win 2 heavy hitter awards in order to do that. Do you think that's doable?
Yeah.
Didn't even think about it.
Right now, I'm on my way to Nebraska to pick up our raffle car that we're going to be raffling off, and that is going to be an 84 two-door Vic, and that baby is clean.
There you go. The raffle car, too.
What are you doing with the raffle car after it's been run? Do you guys keep it, or does it go home with the guy that won?
Actually, it's not going to be built. It's just a car that they can take home and throw together for a show of their liking.
Oh, okay.
That's cool.
Wow.
Yep.
And it's a two-door.
It's a two-door.
Which is
two-door,
right up.
Which everybody loves two doors,
You
so
got it.
can't go wrong.
Ben's over here getting really annoyed that we're not going out there.
The only problem.
That's just for the top heavy hitters. We've got prizes for second and third heavy hitters in each class too. Some great stuff: welding wire, helmets.
You did a welder last year, right?
What's that?
You did a welder last year, didn't you?
No, we were working on a welder for this year.
Oh.
It didn't come through. That's why I'm doing the cars.
Nice.
And I'll just something to shoot for next year.
That's awesome.
Nice.
If you can't weld with it, weld on it. Right?
That's right, exactly.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, how's the planning been going anyway? I mean, this is one of your first real forays into this thing on your own. You brought Ultimate Derby on there, and O'Reilly's has come on. How have things been going?
Things have been going great. Right now, I'm just finalizing all of our sponsors. Like you said, we got O'Reilly's on board, which has really helped out with locking in these payouts. Payouts are guaranteed. Doesn't matter the car count. I don't care if 5 weld cars show up. We're still paying down. So it's going to be a good time. Hopefully they come out. Hopefully more than 5 show up.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between your show and somebody else's? I mean, what stands apart with what you've got in terms of your format out there at Plymouth County and some of the other county fairs that are going to be going on in your neck of the woods?
Oh, mainly the Mad Dog stuff that we give away. Our payouts are above and beyond.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we're giving away cars.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely.
Well, I was trying to figure out what to do, and well, I don't think anybody would turn down a car, so I thought that'd be a good route to go.
Right.
Yeah,
You're going to have a whole
But
parking
yeah,
lot
actually,
full
the
of
cool
trucks
thing
and
is
empty
a lot of
trailers.
the other local shows see what we did last year and the year before with it, and kind of jumped on board, and they're giving away prizes for Mad Dogs. They're all pumping up their payouts by $1,000 at least for first. I mean, everybody's kind of coming on board, and that was kind of the goal from the beginning. So I'm really excited that that's happening.
That's
Good
cool.
deal.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Excellent deal. And so how many names can you release that are coming? Or is that still under lock and key?
Actually, it's all pay at the gate, so there's a lot of rumors out there, but it's just register at the gate. Come and nobody needs to know you're coming that
With
way.
Wait a minute.
The way people want to go now. So
Stop.
put the pay at the gate and go from there. The only people that I do know that are coming is we have this cool thing at our show. It's called the Kellen Grudge Match. And it's Kellen Excavating is a business in our area, and they have a bunch of guys our age that love to run derby cars. So they sponsor the derby, and I give them their own heat to run in, and they don't want any payout. It's all for bragging rights at their work.
That's
They
awesome.
have 12 to 13 cars on board so far.
Yeah, they posted pictures, and they had a flatbed trailer of it was 14 cars. They had cars loaded upside down. They were just piled on there.
Whitney Point used to have a fireman only heat, and that you'd go down there, and the cars wouldn't be heavy built, but it'd always be one of the best heats.
Yeah.
Those guys would go out there and just stand
They
out.
had up Oswego Speedway, too. They used to do that. Remember? They used to keep the car. They used to run their derby.
Oh yeah,
And then they'd keep the cars.
Yep.
And then the following week, all the firemen would jump in them that were there.
Yep, you're right.
And run the cars.
You're right.
That's cool.
I forgot about
Chris.
that.
Yeah, that's
It's about the same deal. Their rules are basically safety, and really we don't care. And they kind of have their own code of ethics as far as building wise goes, and they don't go down to the last car running. They told us teletexts, go until it gets boring and call it, and pick a winner out of who was tearing it up the most. So, I mean, it's really cool. It's all for fun. It's all for the crowd. That's what they love.
They go.
Cool.
That's neat.
They go until nothing's left. They don't stop at one. Then they wreck that one too.
You just start
Drive it
driving.
into the wall.
He wrecks himself.
They're basically said if we're out and we're out for 3 minutes. If they get that car running again, let them fly across the track. Let them hit them. They don't care. They don't care.
That's great.
Wow.
They have even kicked around the idea of a Royal Rumble type start where they have 4 cars in the arena. They wave the green flag. They start smashing, and every 15 seconds somebody comes flying in from the gate. I mean,
Nice. Nice.
Wow.
I love that.
Man, it's too bad.
Just something new, something different. Keep the crowd engaged, and
Yeah, they would do it.
that's
They keep the work atmosphere the following week pretty lively.
They might have a hard time making it to work the following Monday.
Steve, you were saying?
Yeah, I like to see local businesses doing stuff like that and kind of doing some team building things with derbies. I don't know if you noticed this week at the fair, but for the last 2 years, we've had rental cars go to a team of guys from Collins Movers here in Brockton.
Mm-hmm.
And the boss basically buys 6 or 7 cars for his employees. They come out on their days off, they strip them out right here at the fair, and then they go out and run on the derby, and that's their team building. They don't know anything about derbies. We kind of tell them what to do to the cars, and then they just go out and have some fun. But this year, the boss wouldn't drive a car. And I said, "What's the matter? You're afraid of your guys?" And he's like, "Yeah, I think they want to get extra paycheck out of me." So we were threatening to put the boss in a dead car in the middle of the arena and let them go at it, but he wouldn't go for it.
I suppose I can't blame him. The Collins Movers cars didn't look that great at the end of the night either. Pretty much nothing.
It's just nice to see like local businesses really step up to support stuff like this. It's awesome.
oh, absolutely.
And that's the big thing is you got to go support those businesses too. Let them know you heard about them at the fairs. You know, that's the big thing. It's like, yeah, I heard you were sponsoring whatever when I was over at the Derby. Just wanted to come over and say, hey, thanks. And I want to buy this nail. You know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, exactly. That goes so far for those businesses. I mean, we have on our website, PlymouthCoDerby.com. You can go on there. We have a complete list of all of our sponsors, and there's a lot of them. There's too many to name. O'Reilly's is a big one that stepped up this year, and give them business because I know they do a lot of shows, and
how many dozen people
really
are going to be there?
Our sport grow.
How many dozen people did you say were going to be there?
What's that?
How many dozen people were going to be there?
For just the Kellen match?
Just watching the Derby, just in the stands.
Oh, just in the stands, we had 10,000 people in attendance last year.
Nice.
Oh my goodness.
It is quite the environment. Pulling into that arena is something else, that's for sure. It's an adrenaline rush.
That's cool. So let's go back to this thing that you coyly skirted around that I'm not going to let you off the handle that easy on. Is the number of people that you know, I am sure that you had verbal commitments from somebody that you know for sure is going to be there, and now you're going to go tell us who that was.
DJ Barnes came up and ran Remsen, and I ran Remsen, got to drinking beer and talking to him after the show, and it sounds like he's coming up and possibly Fat from DMP. So I'm really excited about that. We've got some Nebraska guys coming out and running. A bunch of friends from Winter Slam, Kenny Rosno and Raymond Stoker. I think they're coming down and running. I mean, it's going to be a good show. A lot of local guys. One of the guys that stripped the small car and did all the wiring on that, because that's a running and driving small car that we're giving away. And he's one of the guys that was on the winning team at Oskaloosa for the small cars at Kevin Ullman. So, I mean, that car's done right for the small car giveaway. There's so many good drivers around here. It's hard to list them all because they're awesome and they love to put on a show.
It's excellent. I mean, I'm excited for you, man. You put in a lot of hard work, and hopefully it's all turning around for you and it's going to pay off. Yeah,
I hope so. I mean, we do a lot for it. I make all the Mad Dog trophies. I make by hand with engine parts, and they're not a 500-pound door stand stop. You know, it's something nice that fits in your trophy case, and they all have intricate moving parts on them. They're pretty cool. Put a lot of time into those too. Just another added bonus for putting on a show.
How much time do you have invested in this Derby?
Too much.
I mean, just
ask my wife; she'll tell you. Much.
I mean, he's always going.
It's all for a good cause. I mean, it's anything to help support this sport. I'll do it. I mean, I don't know. It's just such a great group of guys in our sport. I'll do anything to keep it going in the right direction, the way it's going now, and just keep improving. That's all we can do.
Only up from here. I mean, I'm certainly looking forward to it.
Exactly.
And I believe that this is going to go into the books as one of the NDC qualifiers. So he's got some winners coming out of that. That'll be headed to Topeka.
Good deal.
Yes,
nice.
Very excited about that. I think we're still working on the number of cars coming out of it to go down there. But yeah, we are a qualifier for the national championship this year. So I'm very, very proud of that.
Brandon, I believe Brandon's card number is number 0007 or something like that.
Nice.
Yeah. I hopped on board right away.
Yeah.
As soon as you guys were talking about it, I was all in.
That's cool.
We do appreciate that a ton, and Troy picking up a win out there in Utah at one of the shows. So I'm not sure really how. I haven't heard back for sure from Johnny how the qualifier breakdown is going to go with Ultimate Derby. So that may have even, with Stir and Dirt, that might even have been one of his might stand as one of his qualifiers.
That'd be cool.
I would think so. One of the biggest shows. I mean,
that's
it's fairly good. Yeah, fairly big.
Yeah, that's like a big event.
Yeah, they kind of noticed that one.
Yeah, yeah.
That'd be cool to see Troy come running Topeka.
I think. He was already planning on coming. You might better bring a car.
Might better bring a car,
especially one of his car and bring it.
Especially one of his caddies. I'd like to see one of them run.
Yeah. See, Brandon, I don't know if you know about this, but unfortunately, Troy Tagg gave Brian his phone number. And
no, it's all text message. It's all text. It's all internet. There's no phones.
And now Brian's been listening to Troy and how he builds Cadillacs, and he's planning on bringing a Cadillac tomorrow, and it's going to be really awkward next Monday when we have to talk about how Brian got trailered.
No, because
I'll tell you firsthand that Cadillacs do not move very easy. I ran in Remsen and I sent the Y-framer about 30 mile an hour. Down into the front of a Cadillac, and
I was not comparing apples to apples.
Into that battle.
Remsen is not Keuka Clash, and Keuka Clash will not at any point be confused with Remsen. That's not a knock on either side. But the Y-framer and the Cadillac that you were using and running into is not. This is a much simpler build. and that's what's got me nervous about what he's talking to Troy about.
Well, that's the thing. I congratulated Troy the other night, and he said, "Hey, good luck to you and anything else you need." And, he said, "I'm an open book."
And of course, at that point, Brian says, "Well, if you could send me a car."
No, what I said it's, your ideas are amazing and the way you build is amazing, but unfortunately, there's pretty much nowhere right around here where I could build one and run like that, or attempt to build one and run like that.
And then Brian says, and by the way, if you ever want to build a stock car, you want to learn how to do it. If you want to ask me, I have an open book. And Troy laughed at him and hung up.
Close. But
we'll
funny. Yep. We'll find out.
About 10 minutes from now, we'll be catching up with Chuck Bucknam, winner of the Northeast Championship. But I mean, so you're right on top of it here. What's left? What have you got to? What have you got to round up from here on out? What I's remain to be dotted and T's remain to be crossed?
I just need to final up my sponsors so I can get them off to get banners made, and we're buying fence and just lining up helpers and just all the little things that nobody really notices, all that lead up to the day of that I never knew about before I got on the promoting side, but it ends up being a lot of work, but it's all worth it in the end. I mean, we're wrapping up. We're getting pretty close. Got to throw them trophies together yet, but and we'll be posting pictures of everything, all the Mad Dog cars, all the trophies,
nice.
All the prizes that come in. Just like us on Facebook. Go on Facebook, look up Plymouth Co. Derby. I post everything on there. Go to PlymouthCoDerby.com. All the information's on there with payouts. I'm also doing figure eights the Wednesday night before at the fairgrounds. So, I mean, there's a whole other night of stuff I got to get ready for, but we're going to be ready. It's coming down to the wire, but we're going to be ready.
Excellent. I mean, it sounds like you got things pretty well in line, too. I mean, if you're only worrying about little things like that, that's good.
Now, isn't there only 3 shows going on that night you want to be at? Canandaigua, the Plymouth County, and then isn't there a third one?
July 26th is Plymouth County, Canandaigua, and Clarion, PA. And right now, Clarion is where I pretty much have to be. And I think, Steve, you're going to Clarion too, right?
Yes, sir. I'll be
Yeah.
there for the first time this year doing some announcing for them.
And that's one of Bo Lockwood's shows, and he does
Oh, it's
Keystone
the week after
Nationals.
Keystone.
Yeah, it's the week after Keystone Nationals. Same set of rules and everything. So I
Right.
got to be there, and I got to be in about that night. Right now, if I hit everybody that asked about it, I would have to be in about 5 places at once. And
I was going to offer to run camera for you at Canandaigua.
you may end up doing it because I got spares.
I'll be there anyway.
I'll be up in the flag stand.
Yeah.
Hey, Brandon, what about your officiating crew? I mean, obviously you're doing a lot of the legwork here, but who do you want to recognize that's been helping you out behind the scene?
Adam Sano, he does all of my online ads that we do. We do a lot of promo videos. He sets up the website. He is my right-hand man in all of this, and my family helps out a lot. I got a lot of great friends that pitch in and help out day of and before, and I couldn't ask for a better group of people to be doing this with, because without them, it's way too much for one person to tackle. It definitely takes an army. And for those, like you're saying, you won't be able to make it. I know a lot of people won't be able to make it there. We are doing a free live stream on our website. Just go on to PlymouthCoderby.com, click on the live stream link, and you can watch it for free. And we'll also be recording it off of that, so it's instant to watch after the show before we get all of our edited videos onto YouTube and get DVDs made. So that's just another cool thing. We do it for free. That way, if something happens, nobody's out anything, but we had no complaints last year. They said it was a smooth running live stream, so hopefully we have the same luck this year.
Nice.
That's cool.
I gotta figure out how I can.
What time does
watch
that show start?
officiate at the same time.
It starts at 6:30.
Oh, so that starts before Clarion, so I could probably tune in a little bit from my announcer's booth.
Yeah,
Yep, definitely.
I mean it's true.
Well, no, because 6:30 there is 7:30 here, right?
Oh, time.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
I forgot about time travel.
Time change.
Brandon, so
All right, I'll just tune in between heats.
There you go.
just keep it on in the background. Just do the live look-ins. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Actually, actually, we got to talk a little bit about this.
Yeah, we can make that work.
Brandon, you got to get me a copy of this video, right? And when I edit together the Clarion video, we'll do like they do on ESPN. We'll do a live look-in, quote-unquote, and we'll splice in pieces of Plymouth County's video into the Clarion video. I think this is probably the best idea that I've had today.
That would work out pretty well.
How much sleep have you had since Friday again?
None.
All right,
None.
just checking.
That's
Getting a little
get your best
delirious.
ideas right there.
Getting a little delirious. I just wanted to see if you're all right.
I know Brandon shut up because I know what you're talking about.
That sounds like a great idea.
All right, we'll talk about this. I got some more questions for you anyway. But we got to play some ads here. You're gonna actually get to look at some of Adam's work. He did the ad for Plymouth County. We're gonna play that stuff, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna be catching up with Chuck Bucknam, the winner of the Northeast Championship out there at the Brockton Fairgrounds. Brandon, is there anybody else you want to make mention of before we let you go?
Nope, just everybody that's helping me. Thanks to O'Reilly's for stepping on board, and thanks for Sam Williams and Ultimate Derby for having the same view that I do with the show. And thanks to you guys for having me on and help spreading the word. I really appreciate it.
Well, yeah, man, we're happy to help you out. Anything we can do.
Absolutely, man. It's a hell of a show you're putting on out there.
Definitely.
Looking forward to
Bye,
it.
guys.
If it wasn't working, I'd be there.
July 26th, it's 6:30 local time start. It's if you want to watch on the live feed, it's free. So if you're on the East Coast, it's going to be 7:30 start time out here. Brandon Tyson, promoter of the Plymouth County Fair in LeMars. Congratulations. You've done a great job on this thing, and I hope it's a success for you.
Thanks a lot, guys. We'll talk to you later.
We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Yep, bye.
There goes Brandon. We're going to let you know about some more folks that got some action coming up here pretty soon, and then we're going to be back with Chuck.
The new rules are just right. Set aside July 19th for the reinvented Keystone Nationals. Again this summer, Bo Lockwood will host the Keystone Nationals at the Jefferson County Fairgrounds in Brookville, Pennsylvania. A revamped rulebook will help welcome an all-star field as the limited well division takes center stage in a feature paying $5,000 to win. Pre-entries for the stock division are already full. For more details, join the Keystone Nationals community online at www.facebook.com/Keystone Nationals. Once again, the Keystone Nationals, July 19th, 2014 at the Jefferson County Fairgrounds, Brookville, Pennsylvania.
Total Destruction Demo Productions is primed for an explosive 2014. Based out of Trumansburg, Steve Manshaki and Lead Inspector Ben Hoff have a busy summer with 4 epic events over 7 nights scheduled all over New York State. The schedule starts with the Spring Fling in Morris, New York, June 14th. Total Destruction then hosts 2 nights of carnage at the Ontario County Fair in Canandaigua, New York, July 22nd and 26th. Then the grueling Double Down follows with the Otsego County Fair in Morris planned for July 31st and August 3rd, and the Franklin County Fair in Malone set for August 2nd and 4th. For more details, visit www.totaldestructiondemo.com or call 607-769-6820.
O'Reilly Auto Parts proudly presents the Plymouth County Fair, July 26th, LeMars, Iowa. Promoter Brandon Tyson has teamed with Ultimate Derby to bring a national level to one of the most aggressive and largest county fairs in the Midwest. 3,000 to win modified, 1,500 to win stocks, and 1,000 to win compacts. Passengers are welcome if you dare to ride along. The event is streamed free to the public online with 10,000 people. All courtesy of O'Reilly Auto Parts, the Plymouth County Fair, July 26th, LeMars, Iowa. Online at www.plymouthcoderby.com. That's www.plymouthcoderby.com. The Seneca County Fair will be held Thursday, July 17th and Saturday, July 19th in Waterloo, New York. The 2-day format includes something for everyone with a taste for elimination motorsports. Thursday's card is headlined by the Junk Run, allowing S10 Blazers, Rangers, minivans, Jeeps, and Ford Explorers. The card will include qualifying, advancing full-size competitors to Saturday's full-size championship, and then it will kick off with the 4-cylinder figure 8 races. Championship night is July 19th. A full menu of qualifying heats for full-size cars will set the field. Then the 4-cylinder run and done will crown the 2014 small car champion. The night concludes with the full-size championship action, with winners representing Seneca County at the New York State Fair Championship, Labor Day weekend in Syracuse, New York. That's the Seneca County Fair, July 17th and 19th. To learn more, visit the fair online at www.senecacountyfairny.com. The Wadena Grand Slam will be the premier team format derby this summer at the Wadena County Fairgrounds, Wadena, Minnesota. A minimum of $4,000 awaits the one-day team format champions, with at least $800 also being paid to the winners of the chain-and-go trucks, compact trucks, and compact car divisions. The Wadena Grand Slam Team Derby, presented by Performance Rear Ends, Double Diamond Motorsports, and Custom Car Crushing and Recycling, starts at 2 p.m. August 16th. For rules and information, visit www.wadenacountyfair.com.
And we're back. We got Chuck Bucknam on the line. Chuck, can you hear us?
Yep.
All right. Congratulations, by the way. $7,500 and a 6.5, 7-foot tall cherry wood trophy, handmade by Jim Mann and the team over there at Woodburger Demolition Derbies for winning the Northeast Championship. I mean, has it sunk in yet? Have you come to grips with the fact that you are now a lifetime qualifier for the Northeast Championship?
Well, I've already been a lifetime qualifier, so no.
He won a couple years ago and got him in. But
Yep.
he won the Brockton Fair before we did the championship there.
It still I'm not going to lie, it still confuses me who isn't a lifetime qualifier with the way that is, because it was the Northeast Championships was held later, and then the list sort of got reset, and Brockton Fair was then, and then the events merged and stuff. So Chuck didn't have to run all week. He showed up with his car pulled in, and he was ready to go.
Woodburger Demolition Derby
They
took
won
over
the
Derby.
first one at the Brockton Fair when Jim took it over.
There we go.
Right. Woodburger took over the Brockton Fair, and when Jim ran the first one, he said, from now on, as long as Woodburger wins the Derby, runs the Derby, whoever wins the championship at the Brockton Fair will have a lifetime feature spot. And Chuck won that one. And the following year, we started making the Brockton Fair the Northeast championship. And that's when Chris Woodworth took it. So Chuck and Chris are the only ones right now.
And tell us a little bit about your run in the feature. I mean, your engine ran awesome, and once you were done with Al Crockett, you got rid of Al, and then it was down to you and Tom Taylor. You had a great run, and Tom was able to get it fired, but he really couldn't move at all, and then your car come back to life, and you put the exclamation point on the evening.
Yeah, basically. It was me and me and Al Crockett. I thought it was me and him at the moment, so I went full bore for him first. And, I got him on the wall pretty good, and then, like I said, Tom Taylor got loose, and he come in and fucking piled on me, and then we went at it for a while.
It was
basically, yeah.
What kind of car did you run, Chuck?
That was an '84 Pontiac Parisian.
Nice.
Basically an Impala with a pretty name.
Nice.
And it was the whole night was really outstanding. It was a great event the whole weekend. Everything was shifted ahead of day after Hurricane Arthur came through, and Friday's program was canceled, moved to Saturday, and then Saturday's program moved to Sunday. 7:30 start time there. So, they were still wrecking cars at 11 o'clock on Sunday night, and the fair was supposed to close at 10.
Nice.
So that was a good deal. 30 cars scheduled to start, and I think 29 of them made it to the track.
No kidding. That's pretty good.
That probably affected a lot of people's decisions whether to stay or go.
No, it wasn't.
A lot of people had to work the next day.
Everybody that was feature qualified.
Well, I'm talking. There was another qualifying heat, right?
Yeah, they had qualifying. They had qualifying through the course of the day.
Right.
And then Sunday night they had the championship, and everybody that had previously qualified and had a fresh car, they were there. It was only the guys that were running Sunday that had qualified, that had found a rental car and then found another rental car that they could get to start. That those guys just ran out of cars.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of those guys were limping out there. I can't remember the name of the guy that had that teal wagon. It was from Wes Damon's camp, but that car, they got that thing back running and put a new battery in it on the line while Duncan Cram was getting a new vehicle.
That was John Flaherty's wagon. He gave it to Sean Globin, who had qualified that night. Mm-hmm. And it died out as he was driving on the track, and they changed the battery right in the entrance to the arena.
It was something. And I gotta make mention of one guy who I lost track of through the course of the feature. Tim Mulcahy did an outstanding job. He had a lot of life left in the back of his Crown Vic, but he used the front of that thing, and it was waffled right flat. It was 90 degrees at the A-arms. The fenders were pushed back, and he's a rookie. Never driven before, and I'd lost track of him in terms of the scoring, and he ended up dying right along the front stretch of the wall. But he did. I mean, if there was a Rookie of the Race award to give out, he would definitely be in contention for it.
We had 5 or 6 rookies qualify for the championship this week, running their first derbies or first or second derbies and
Kenny
qualifying
Bucknam.
For the championship.
Kenny Bucknam's another one who did a great job this week.
Yeah, and he ran his very first derby ever this week on his birthday, qualified, and it was good to see him out there. We had 5 Bucknams total in the feature. And Chuck's used to stuff like that, but Chuck, when you guys were out there running around, did you happen to try to work with anybody else that was out there? I know Jeff had some tough luck, but Larry, Kenny, and Steve were still going.
Yeah, I didn't really work with anybody. I just drove my race. People were in my way. I hit them. Kenny hit me once, and I was going to go hit him back, but I let him go.
The feature was so fast-paced. I mean, I was really surprised at the pace. There was no room. There was no room really to hide, and if you were hiding, you would get caught in a hurry.
Yeah.
There was another guy who did a great job, Steve Roberts, from Coventry, Rhode Island.
Yes,
I believe he had a 6-cylinder out there, and I think he was on one of only maybe 3 front-wheel drive cars that was out there on the track in the feature. All the rest of them were full-size cars, and he took a lot of abuse on the backside of that car, and he did all right. I mean, I don't know where he ultimately finished in the rundown, but he had a pretty good showing in that car.
I think everybody that makes it to that feature deserves respect. I mean, it's hard to get there, and I mean, you could be really the first car out in that feature, and you still accomplish something to get there.
I'll agree with that. I mean, Chuck, you've seen several of these things now. I mean, how tough is the field out there to compete with?
Oh, it's tough. I mean, anytime when you get 30 cars on the track at the same time, it's you get some mayhem. Half of it's just surviving the first 10 minutes, without getting cross-tracked and pushed to the wall. That's half the battle, like anyone.
What did you think, Chuck, about Chris Woodworth's performance in the 11 this year? 2-time defending champ, trying to make it a 3-time, and he had a real solid car, but it seemed like a lot of people were interested in making sure he didn't make it 3 times.
Yeah, that usually happens, especially 3 in a row. If they let them win 3 in a row, then whose fault's that, right?
Right.
And they did not.
It's like when somebody's out there and always sandbags and you keep letting them go, whose fault's that? drivers out there that know he sandbags and lets them, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So, you get used to it and you just take them out first.
That did happen. He had a bit of a target on his car. He garnered a lot of attention.
It's always good to be popular.
Oh yeah.
I could disagree. If I was in those shoes.
Hey,
Never a dull moment.
if you win back to back, I mean that's a good reason to be popular with your fellow competitors.
Well, he had some trouble getting in. I mean, he had some trouble through the course of the day. He was having some motor issues early on, and it was a question mark on if he was even going to get there. But he did get there and got it put together, and did just fine. And the rest of the week was a lot of fun. The other main attraction was that team show that there was so much talk and build up around, and that broke down that there wasn't so much a lot of team driving in the vein of like the team format stuff like Spring Explosion or Blizzard Bash. But there was certainly a very fair share of action. I mean that was outstanding. I mean everybody was.
Five teams on there. It's very hard for them to get any real team work going.
Yeah, you can't do it. It was tough to find a buddy, especially everybody was spread out. They each member of the team had a corner. They had basically four corners mapped out of a rectangular shaped arena, and one member went to each corner. And after that, you're gonna have to try and find a buddy. And when they do that Brockton handshake, where everybody comes together in the middle, touches bumpers, and then the green flag comes out. It was just raucous. The cars were everywhere.
That definitely
it's too bad they didn't let them do more of the team where you let them line up together and then go from that way.
But that's not. I mean, that's just not how it goes out there. I mean, I'm sure they're open to discussion about it, but that's just not how that one was going to happen.
I really believe that we're going to see the team format evolve in Brockton for next year. We've already got a lot of ideas kind of cooking right now.
Some good ones.
Yeah, I think we're going to have some really good stuff lined up for next year. But, this was our first year doing a team event. I had initially kind of talked to Jim about it as a suggestion for next year because I didn't think that we'd have enough time to pull it together for this year. But Jim Man never stops moving and never stops working. And he said we're going to do it this year, and we made it happen. So we had to take small steps this year. We started smaller, and next year you'll see some more team action for sure.
I'm looking forward to that. This year the Vermont team won the team show, and Duncan Cram, he ended up swapping cars in the feature. The Meathead Joe, he went to the feature with the same car that he used in the team show, and then Tommy Woodbury and Zach Daniels both had backup cars. I didn't see Zach at all Sunday night. I mean, he was down at the far end of the track. He never even made it over to our end. Steve and I were on the same corner. I was filming off the corner, and he was announcing from the same spot. And I didn't see Zach get down to our end at all.
No, he worked out of that far side corner from us, what I call the left side of the track from where we were. And he had Mark Jones down there in the 99 working with him for quite a while.
Mark covered a lot of ground.
Oh, my goodness. Mark Jones from Vermont in the 99. It was a Fifth Ave of some sort.
He got a ride and a half in that car.
Oh, my goodness. Every driver on that track after the Derby wanted to shake Mark's hand.
He definitely made a name for himself out there. I mean, again, everybody knew he was going to be a force to be reckoned with, and he was a wrecking ball out there, just going end to end. And Tommy Woodbury did a great job too. I mean, take nothing away from him. He lost a tire and was limping around out there with only one tire pulling on, and he did fairly well until he finally came to rest right next to Wahoo. Wahoo. He did all the wahooing that would be expected. he
lost both axles out of that rear end.
Yeah. Yep, it was a stock rear end and a Cadillac, and he was sending stuff.
Yeah, I mean, really, it was mayhem on the track, and it was hard to keep track of it. Normally, from where you and I stand, Chris, on that elevated corner, you can pretty much see everything. But this year, I actually had to jump down off my corner and work across the front stretch to be able to see all the action because it was everywhere. Everyone was working in different corners. People were getting stuck on each other. We had several cars up on two wheels at different points. I'm really looking forward to seeing the video for sure.
I've already looked back at some of the stuff, and everything all week long was coming out pretty well. What?
I was just going to ask how the you running multiple cameras at once went.
We ended up having somebody on the other camera.
Good.
At all times. couple new folks that hadn't done it before, but they did fine. I mean, everything was good. Cody,
if we could just split you in half or maybe clone you, I think everything would be all right.
We need about 9 more of him.
Gary Sparks asked me at one point. He goes, "What's your story?" I don't know. He goes, "Every time I see you, you're either at a dead run or you're smiling."
I think the insanity causes the smile.
I don't know what the
writing's about.
I don't know what to tell you. But, Chuck, at the end, you were stuck nose-to-nose with Tom. I mean, what was going through your mind at that point? Because you guys were hung up together for quite a while.
Just getting unstuck, pushing him to the wall, whatever you have to do to break him, trying to, pointing to him so he goes, try to work together to get unstuck. He didn't have a lot of power, though, so
right.
Pretty much dragging him up and down the field.
I mean, Tommy...
just anything to get unhooked, That's... Nobody wants to end stuck,
Tommy Simpson had a pretty good run too. I think he ended up getting down as far as 4th, and he was a little bit of a thorn in your side as well. I mean, with the black smoke that was coming out of his stacks, it looked like his car was going to refire, and he had quite a bit of car left. Were you concerned at all that if he came back, if it would be an issue, would it have changed the outcome of anything, or did you have enough to where you wouldn't have to worry about him either?
No, I thought I was all right. I was running good. I mean, I had no flats.
You didn't have any flats.
Turning, that's unusual for me.
That's true. That's you drove a great race. I mean, I'm not gonna take anything away from you, for sure.
What about that shot at the end there, Chuck? I mean, I think you went nose to nose with Tom Sr. and all of a sudden, steam everywhere, and your car stalled out for the first time. Any nervousness there, or were you confident it was going to fire again?
Well, it actually didn't stall. The upper hose just blew right apart, right at the thermostat, and just soaked everything. But I taped the front of my air cleaner with duct tape, so it was running on like 3 cylinders and chugging. I had to reach in real quick and throw it in park, hold it to the floor, and get it to clear out.
Okay.
And it went. Once I got it to rev up and clear, I was good. But yeah, it actually didn't stall then. The first time it stalled was I think afterwards when me and Taylor were nose to nose when I was backed in the corner there. I think that was the first time it stalled.
Yep. Interesting.
Chris,
so I think it only shut down once.
You weren't around on the track, Chris, when we were doing the post-race inspections, but we lifted up the top 3 cars with the loader. We checked them all out, and we lifted Chuck's car with the loader, and we all got under there with our flashlights, check everything out, and we immediately dove back out from under there because there was transmission fluid spewing out of every orifice of his transmission. It was boiling transmission fluid out of the gasket, out of the tail shaft, everywhere. It was I've never seen it happen like that before. And then after he passed inspection, he still drove it off the track.
I was forward and reverse. I wasn't stopping. I was hammering it. And, I really didn't have a real tranny cooler either, so I only had a 6-foot piece of line fucking looped into a spiral and ran back in.
Nice.
So it didn't get hot.
As long as you can get it away from that transmission for a little bit, you're okay, right?
No.
Tracking on the trailer.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive. Driving.
It does help. Chuck works at a transmission shop, and his boss takes care of his trainees for him. So
that comes in handy.
Yeah, that was a fresh one he had just built. He builds all my trainees.
Chuck, any sponsors
they don't
you need to
last,
recognize?
right?
Anybody that you want to recognize, Chuck, in terms of sponsors? I know you got a lot of people that help get that car on the track.
What's that?
Anybody you want to recognize? I know you got a lot of people to help get that car on the track. Any sponsors you want to make mention of?
Just today's transmission, my boss. He's my biggest sponsor. I use the shop, all the equipment, and I keep my cars there, and I get to build my cars in an AC shop. That's the best sponsor I could have.
Wow.
Who doesn't like a little air conditioning when you're running the welder?
Sounds like a Joker now.
He went out and bought me a plasma cutter because he didn't want me wasting all his oxygen in acetylene.
Wow.
So just run up the electric bill.
Man, I got to find a sponsor like that.
Go work at a transmission shop.
That's the best tool a derby driver could have. I don't use drills and sawzalls anymore, except for cutting windshields out.
That's great. Chuck, what's next on your plate for derbies?
My next is Brookville, Pennsylvania.
Nice.
Going to Keystone Nationals.
Yep.
Which,
Running the
Which class are you running down there?
Limited weld.
Cool.
I'll be seeing it.
It's going to be good.
Chuck's been a little nervous that maybe he, maybe he didn't have enough car or whatever because he's never built to that level of rules before. But I've seen his ride and seen his pictures, and if nothing else, he's going to fit in the pit area. He's not going to stand out as being an underbuilt guy or anything, but it'll be an interesting weekend for sure.
As long as it comes home junked, I'll be happy.
Well, you're going to the right expectation.
Yeah, you're going to the right place.
Yeah, I mean, it just sucked to go there and sit on a fucking wall. Sit on a wall or just get stuck in a hole or something, stupid and have a fresh car,
Yep.
Absolutely.
Just want it to be junked one way or another, win, lose, draw, whatever. Well, as long as it's junked, I'm happy.
As long as they know you were there, that's all that matters.
Yep.
It's going to be tough to get stuffed on top of one of them big loader tires.
Yeah, you'd really have to get
do
something special.
Yeah, that's tough place to get hung up on.
I have a hard time getting up on top of them just to tape.
You stand on those tires to tape?
Yeah.
Wow.
I wouldn't.
Why?
I've seen those tires get pushed 10 feet. I wouldn't stand on them.
I was up there. I've been up there a couple, 2-3 times. I had a roving camera at one point where it was the fall show that they did there a couple of years ago, maybe 2011. We had one off to the wing, and then we had one up in the announcer stand with Steve, and I just had a handheld. I was just walking along the tires, just taping that way, and I'd stop and squat down and get real close when stuff was coming. And what?
I forget which official it is, but a couple years ago, one of the officials was walking along the tires like you do with the camera, and he just fell right in the hole.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be. I don't want to be that guy.
One second he was there, and 1 second he was gone.
There's a lot of people in the grandstands to be clapping for that. It was 2 years ago. 2 years ago at Penn Yan when I fell in the mud on the front stretch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people were applauding then.
Hey, you always got tomorrow night.
That was I don't think I'm gonna have to need mud to fall on my face there.
Chris, you spent all this time out here in Brockton, but you didn't pick up the accent.
Oh, I was making fun of every person I could.
What's the matter? I mean, we just get our cars ready.
There's no R's in Massachusetts except for on words that end in A, and then there's R's everywhere.
We have ideas about our cars.
Yeah. Sulfurs. I don't know what a sulfur is.
But you can sleep on it.
Yes, made use of it. It was nice. Butch and Heidi, by the way. Butch and Heidi Epic. Great people. They got to stay at their house and meet those guys. They have one of the coolest bulldogs I've ever met, too.
Winston.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to Keystone Nash. I mean, there's a lot going on this month. This is a busy month up here.
And it really is starting to get kicked in.
Yeah, and it's in high gear now. I mean, it is moving. Chuck, have you started your car for Brookville?
Oh, yeah. It's just about done. I got finish it this weekend.
Yeah, it's only like 2 weeks. What's a week away? It's a week from
Saturday.
Saturday.
It's the 19th. Yeah, it's the 19th. Week from Saturday.
Yeah, I got this last weekend to button it up, paint it, and load up the truck pretty much, dig all the spare parts out.
Yeah, I think
there Friday night.
this week coming is tomorrow is Keuka Clash. Wednesday is the first night of the Broome Tioga show at Owego that they're doing down there. Friday is the second night of that. Saturday is Penn Yan, and then Saturday I think is also Madison County Fair. Next week I think Hemlock's in there next week at some night.
Waterloo.
And then Waterloo is Thursday and Saturday. And then Keystone Nationals. And then the week after that is Canandaigua, Broome County,
Broome County on the
Dunkirk.
23rd, yeah.
Yeah.
Week after that's Malone, Morris.
It's busy. There's a lot of. If you want to see a car get wrecked, you don't have to look far.
I don't mind going back to Morris, but man, that's a long drive.
I need somebody to go with me.
I ain't going to Malone. My dad used to drive by there. That's way up there in God's country. Yeah. I did drive by there once.
Everybody's got worse accents than Brockton.
Yeah, there's.
What day is Morris?
Everything's A.
Morris is August 2nd, 4th, and 10th, I think. That's up in Malone, New York. And make no mistake, I don't want anybody to take that personal. I'm not picking on anybody in Brockton
we just have
for how they sound. But it turns out they don't like it when you talk to them in their accent.
No, because you're not from there.
Yeah, you're not from there.
Erica, the young lady who waves the checkered flag, she did not think it was funny at all when I was talking Massachusetts. Maybe
you ought to go to the Bronx and try to talk like that.
No thanks. Nope. Not gonna do it.
As long as you
Chuck,
get a gun,
Chuck, have you thought at all about next year? Maybe what your strategy is going to be, or if you're gonna, what kind of car you're going to bring, or anything like that?
Strategy's gonna be win 10 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it'll probably be an 80s GM. I can pretty much tell you that because I run GM motors.
That's right. The rule at the Wood Booger show is engine and transmission have to match the make of your vehicle. So that does limit some people for sure.
That's the what?
I mean, I prefer GM motors over Ford, so I'm limited to GM. So most likely,
GM,
whatever
GM,
clean
Ford,
GM
Ford,
I find
no
a couple
Ford.
weeks before the show will be it.
Your motor has to match your car, so you can't stuff a Chevy or a Mopar engine in a Ford.
Okay. All right.
So
Right.
so Chuck runs all GM motors, so he's pretty much locked into running an
So I-
80s Chevy.
I guess I can't run my guard Mopar in a Cadillac up there next year.
You don't have a guard Mopar anyway.
Yet.
yeah.
When he wins that Derby tomorrow, he'll have some extra prize money to buy a guard motor.
No, he won't. Nope.
Not even a short block.
He's got
Maybe the heads.
he's got enough money to make a phone call for it, but he's got a long. You can ask a lot of questions.
I already do that for free.
Yeah.
Well, you
Poor
guys-
Jeremy.
You guys keep it up out there to Brockton. I mean, pretty soon you guys be having a family reunion for lifetime entries, lifetime qualifiers.
Yeah, the whole family be in there.
Well,
How
you know
many
what's
got
funny
in there
is
now?
when
3?
well, when Jim first introduced the idea, he said, "What's the worst that can happen? In 10 years, we'll have 10 extra people in the feature." But so far, we've gone. This is what, the 4th year now.
4th year, and you only got.
We got 2.
We've only got 2 because Chuck's done it twice and Chris has done it twice. So we'll see how it goes. Larry's a 2-time Northeast champion, but he did it before we started doing it at the Brockton Fair, and that's when the lifetime spot started.
So Larry still has to qualify.
The championship used to be like the end of July, right, or beginning of August.
Initially, they were doing it in the fall, so some sort of late summer, early fall sort of show. But it really works out better as part of the Brockton Fair. We just do it as qualifying nights all week, and everybody has a really good time. We introduce a lot of new rookies to the sport, and really, I mean, Chris lived the life here at Wood Booger for most of the week. He saw how it goes here at the fair. A lot of times, people just stay right here on the fairgrounds in campers or whatever, and it's just we just try to have fun. We try to help each other out. We lend each other tools, parts. Whatever we can do,
I put 9-wire on a door of a car and vacuum glass out of like 3 back seats. So basically, I helped build a derby car, kind of.
You are the man.
I'll tell you what, the shop vac here at the track was one of the most used tools this week because
Hands down. Yep. That and the
Just
Sawzall.
smash the back window out and just shop back it up.
By the way, Ryan Deal, who came down, he had one of the rental cars. Drove the best race I have seen him drive ever. And in he had a Ford Escort that was out of Gully's camp, and he did an awesome job. The best
We
race
really
I've seen him
got to
drive.
recognize a lot of those New York guys. I mean, Jeremy Gully drove his pants off in a rental car.
Yeah.
Ryan Deal was really impressive. I had never seen him drive before. Very impressive in that car.
Race of his life.
Was it George Hackett Jr.? I think
George
took the
Hackett
car
made
out?
junk of a lot of stuff.
Oh my goodness!
George drives shit.
He could, if he could find a way if he could find a way to get it to start, guaranteed it wasn't good when he was done with it.
Yeah. And then was it Eric Eberling in the 3?
Eric did a good. I mean, all in New York. The team New York was Josh. Obviously, he's home working on his car for tomorrow, and then Vern and
Vern who?
Gully.
Gully, and then
Eberling.
and Eric Eberling. Those were the guys who were in the team show. But the other guys that came and were helping with the team, they've got rental cars.
Yeah.
And they were out there and they were sending stuff, and the cars that they ran in the team show, a bunch of those cars came back out with mismatched drivers and stuff, and came back out and tried the V8 heats through the course of the night too.
That's cool.
Yep, it was interesting. I am looking forward to the next time they do a team show up there. It's going to be a good time.
Chuck, I know you're already qualified, but you think you might jump on a team show next year?
Yeah, hopefully if they make some kind of a payout for it. I mean,
Well, I heard talk of like $1,200 for the team format.
Well, listen, nothing's been decided on. So
I
don't
heard
wanna
they
get
got 500 to win.
well, no, that was this year. It was just a heat, so we tried to give a little bit extra money. Usually the heats here pay $100 to the winner. For the team show, they paid $500, so the 4 drivers get $125 a piece this time. But for next year, we're kicking around a bunch of ideas. Nothing set in stone. I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but
Okay, nothing set in
We're-
stone.
2001 team.
but we're considering doing maybe a heat and feature night with teams, and then paying something like $1,200-$1,400 to win, something like that, for a heat and feature night, and then of course qualifying that team for the championship.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, but
Okay.
everything.
But
This is
really,
too early.
you should
Too
try
early
to
to
bring it
tell.
up a little more if you want to get a good team. I mean, $1,200 split between 4 people is nothing.
That's what I'm saying. 2,000 would be 500 a person.
Yep.
Right. I mean,
Well,
that's
Better than
It's just,
something, you know.
there's 364
You can't buy
days.
a car right now for less than $500-$600.
exactly.
364 days between now and when it has to happen, right?
Exactly.
I
a
mean-
lot of sponsor time in between now and then.
To put it in a little
Had a
perspective.
sponsor other than my boss, helping out with the shop time and shit like that. But
I'm
my
talking-
cars are all built out of my own pocket.
I'm talking about purse-wise, purse
Yeah.
sponsor. Good,
Yeah.
lot of time to work on that.
Yeah, for sure.
You
And
make it
to
make
put
it worth
in
a while,
some
then yeah, we
perspective,
definitely
though.
build. I'd be interested in it.
In perspective.
Right now, Chris, we do run that heat and feature night here during the week, and we pay $1,000 to win for it. And then we qualify like the top 4 drivers in that $1,000 to win feature, and those 4 drivers go to the championship. So the thought that we're thinking about is to replace that $1,000 to win night heat and feature night with a team heat and feature night, and then pay $1,400 or something like that. So I understand what you guys are saying about raising the money, but it's still, in our mind, just a heat that's qualifying for the championship, and we are raising that money to $10,000. So we got to draw the line somewhere on that.
Either way, it's going to be a heck of a night.
The first
Yeah.
to $10,000. What about like second, third, and fourth? You're gonna jump that up a little?
You have to talk to the Woodburgers.
Yeah.
I'm just the guy on the mic.
Well, I just think if they want to get people to come from further away, they need to make second, third, and fourth pay a little more. At least if 2 or 3 of your buddies want to come, and at least you all want to think you got a chance of making something when you get there.
Right.
I think every Derby
Come
driver is
from
a fan
first
of
was
spreading the money out a little further.
$7,500, and second was $1,000. If you come from far away, that's like only one of you has got a shot.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's something that Bo Lockwood's doing really well at the Keystone Nationals. You get $400 just to make the feature.
Yeah, 400.
Yeah,
Pull it
pays
down.
all the way down to the last spot.
Yep.
Bo's
And
100%
that
on
includes
right
the
track
raffle
with
car.
that.
He's going to have a raffle car in the feature, and just by winning it, you're already at least $400 in.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Can't beat that.
And the Massachusetts guys were pretty hospitable too through the course of the weekend. It was nice to see your dad. All the talk and everything. Nice to see your dad go out there and run, and he had the opportunity to get out. He got a car together and got back out there for the feature, and he had his hands full. A couple of those 6-cylinder cars were chasing him around pretty good, and looked like he had a pretty good time. And after the team heat, at the end of the day, everybody got out of the cars and shook hands. That's what was important.
Yeah, for sure. Dad got second in the team heat, representing Team New Hampshire. He did it in a front-wheel drive 6-cylinder Buick Century wagon that he built in 15 hours. He still had the windshield in it, stock battery, stock gas tank. And that car lived to run again. His teammate, Wes Huntress, took it out in the last chance qualifier and got second place with it again. So that car just wouldn't die.
And
but
Wes
it was good.
Wes
ahead.
had an LS. Wes had an LS motor in his car. Sounded awesome, and he
Yeah.
drove the wheels off of it.
Drove the back end off it, too.
Yeah, literally, like the back end was gone.
Like you said, Chris, it's good that everybody
Hold
got
on,
out,
that guy,
shook hands, and we're sportsmanship about it. I mean, that's where all the bullshit stops. You leave it all on the track till next year.
Amen.
The big thing is everybody that was involved with that. You got to walk out there on the track, be willing to lose with dignity and win with class. And if you can't pull that stuff off, then you know what? It's no good, man. It's not good. It's not healthy for the sport. You need to play fair and play right, and realize that it's just a freaking demolition derby.
There's
Amen.
always next year.
And there's always next year. There's some good news.
I do want to say, too, Vern Backus, he drove a heck of a race in that team show. Drove extremely hard. Kept
front wheel was
everything
gone.
very clean.
Gone.
And he was
It's gone.
he was the first guy from New York to come up and just shake everybody's hand, and he had a big smile on his face all weekend. So definitely want to recognize Vern. He's a top notch in my book.
Yep. We had ultimately everybody that was out there. As far as I know, they all had a pretty good time, and I'm looking forward to it. Next year, we're going to be out there again doing the same thing, and who knows what next year brings. All the potential and some of the ideas that were kicked around. It sounds like a pretty exciting one. Attention's turning to Penn Yan and all the local shows here now. There's plenty of action coming up the next couple of weeks. Keep your eyes open, and there's going to be plenty of stuff to go see get smashed. And we are already over and out of time, so we're gonna have to cut this one off. Chuck, thanks for joining us here tonight. Once again, congratulations, and good luck here in a couple of weeks. We look forward to seeing you down there at the Keystone Nationals.
All right, thanks, man. Appreciate you having me on here.
No problem. Thanks a lot.
Good job, Chuck.
Thanks.
Take care.
See you in a couple weeks.
We'll see you. There goes Chuck and Steve. Thanks for hanging around down there and coming on with us here. And
Always a pleasure, guys.
we'll do it again. And we're way over. I hope I can get
Sorry.
this. I hope I can get this thing put together before everybody else starts coming in. And for Brian, for Ben, best wishes once again. Go out to the family of that official out there, Robert Steele in Utah. Sad situation, but wishes out to them. Make sure you stay safe. Next couple of weeks are going to be real busy. We don't want to hear any more of those stories. Everybody's got to do what they can to keep their head on a swivel and their eyes peeled. It's going to do it for us. This edition of the Crash Course in the books. Number 41. We're going to be back with number 42 next week. We'll have all sorts of stuff to talk about. We're going to be drawing the heats for the Keystone Nationals. We're going to be talking about Keuka Clash. We're going to be talking about the Penn Yan Saturday Night Championship. That was the springboard that got all this started when all that stuff started shaking down around Penn Yan. As that was a little bit of the topic of the first magazine and one of the first Crash Course episodes that we had. So a little bit of a special anniversary coming up on Saturday. So looking forward to it, and we'll be seeing you here next week. Thanks a lot, guys.